There's an invisible rulebook that governs elite society. Rules that are never written down, never explicitly taught. Yet everyone at the top somehow knows them. Break these unspoken codes and you'll be quietly excluded, no matter how much money you have. Follow them and doors open that money alone can't unlock. Today, I'm revealing the silent rules of elite society, the subtle codes of behavior, communication, and social navigation that separate those who truly belong from those who are just rich. If you think wealth is the only requirement for elite circles, you're about to discover you're dangerously wrong. Let's dive in. 10. The unspoken meritocracy, proving you belong. Despite advantages of birth and wealth, elite society maintains an unspoken meritocracy where you must prove you belong, not just financially, but through capability, taste, and character. Simply having money isn't sufficient. You must demonstrate competence in your field, whether business, arts, or other pursuits. The elite respect achievement and capability, dismissing those who contribute nothing beyond inherited wealth. Personal character is constantly evaluated. Integrity, reliability, discretion, and grace under pressure are watched closely. Those who fail these character tests are quietly downgraded socially regardless of wealth. The flip side is downward mobility for elite-born individuals who lack capability or character. They maintain some status through family connections but never fully integrate into adult elite society's inner circles. 9. Giving back is expected. But strategic elite society expects philanthropy and community contribution, but it must be done correctly. Random or emotional giving is seen as less sophisticated than strategic philanthropy aligned with interests and values. Cause selection matters. Supporting established institutions like museums or universities is safe and status-enhancing. Supporting controversial causes can damage social standing, even if the cause is worthy. The elite also expect matching effort and money. Serving on boards requires actually attending meetings and contributing expertise, not just writing checks. Engaged philanthropy is valued over passive financial support. This creates a philanthropic ecosystem that perpetuates elite values and institutions while providing legitimate social benefits and tax advantages. 8. Class solidarity and protecting. Our own elite society maintains strong class solidarity, quietly protecting members from external threats while holding each other accountable internally. This creates a protective barrier around the group. When one elite member faces public criticism or scandal, others often close ranks, providing legal support, financial assistance, or public defense. This isn't about condoning bad behavior, but protecting against external attacks on their class. The solidarity extends to children. Elite families help each other's children with college admissions, first jobs, and career advancement. The network supports the next generation, perpetuating elite status across families. The path for newcomers is proving value and trustworthiness over years, gradually earning inclusion through demonstrated discretion, capability, and cultural fit. 7. Time is respected above all else. In elite society, respecting others' time is perhaps the most important practical courtesy. The wealthy view time as their most valuable resource, and wasting it is the gravest offense. Communication is also efficient. Emails are concise and action-oriented. Calls are scheduled in advance, never unexpected. Text messages are brief and purposeful. Elite communication respects that everyone's time is valuable. This efficiency extends to social obligations. The elite say no frequently to preserve time for what truly matters. They're not afraid to decline invitations, cancel plans with sufficient notice, or limit commitments to maintain control over their schedules. Mastering this requires overcoming the people-pleasing instinct to always say yes. Elite society respects clear boundaries and time protection more than it values attendance at every event. 6. Privacy is paramount. Gossip has consequences. Elite society operates on strict codes of confidentiality and discretion. What happens in elite circles stays in elite circles, and violations have severe consequences. Business discussions, financial situations, personal matters, and even attendance at certain events are considered confidential unless explicitly stated otherwise. Sharing this information publicly or even with other elites violates trust. Social media is particularly fraught. Posting photos from elite gatherings without permission is forbidden. Tagging people, sharing locations, or publicizing attendance can get you permanently excluded. The elite value privacy above almost everything. This creates a culture of extreme discretion where everyone understands that loose lips don't just sink ships, they end your access to elite society entirely. 5. Networking is about providing value, not taking it. In elite circles, networking operates on completely different principles than typical business networking. The rule is, offer value first, never ask for anything directly, and build relationships without immediate transactional intent. Elite networking is playing the long game. You might meet someone and build a relationship for 5 years before any business happens. The relationship comes first, the transaction eventually follows naturally if appropriate, never the reverse. This system favors those with patience and long-term thinking. Those desperate for immediate returns violate the protocols and exclude themselves before they realize what's happened. 4. Education and cultural literacy are assumed. Elite society assumes a baseline of education and cultural literacy that goes far beyond wealth. You're expected to be conversant in literature, art, history, current affairs, and high culture without appearing pretentious about it. This creates a barrier that pure wealth can't overcome. You can buy a museum-quality art collection, but if you can't discuss the pieces intelligently, you're marked as a collector buying for status rather than appreciation. Acquiring this cultural literacy takes years of education and exposure. This is why elite families invest so heavily in education. They're not just buying credentials, but cultural competency that signals belonging. 3. Proper introductions and social protocols matter deeply. Elite society operates on formal social protocols that seem outdated to outsiders but are strictly observed within these circles. Knowing and following these protocols signals breeding and education. Introductions follow precise rules. Younger people are introduced to older, men to women, lower status to higher status. You address people formally until invited to use first names. These aren't arbitrary, they're tests of whether you know the code. Phone etiquette matters too. Phones stay silent and away during social occasions. Taking calls during dinner is unforgivable. Constant phone checking signals that something else is more important than present company, a grave insult. These protocols exist partly as gatekeeping. They create barriers that new money hasn't learned, making it easy to identify and quietly exclude those who don't belong, regardless of wealth. 2. Understatement. Over ostentation, always elite society favors radical understatement over flashy displays. The rule is simple. The more secure your status, the less you need to prove it. Ostentation signals insecurity and marks you as nouveau riche. The elite drive understated cars or classics, not the latest flashy supercar. A vintage Porsche or a well-maintained Range Rover signals taste and security. A lime green Lamborghini signals you're trying too hard and probably just got rich. Mastering this requires deprogramming from mainstream culture that equates wealth with flashy displays. The elite have completely inverted this, making subtlety the ultimate power move. 1. Discretion is sacred. Never discuss money. The first and perhaps most important silent rule of elite society: you never, ever discuss money explicitly. Not your wealth, not others' wealth, not prices, not costs. This discretion is the ultimate marker of belonging. When elites discuss purchases, they never mention prices. They might say, "I picked up a place in Aspen." Never, "I bought a $15 million house in Aspen." The price is vulgar to mention, suggesting you're either showing off or still thinking in terms of money rather than value. The elite communicate wealth through subtle signals, the quality of their possessions, the exclusivity of their experiences, the circles they move in. Never through explicit discussion. Mastering this indirect communication is essential to acceptance. The silent rules of elite society are invisible to outsiders, but rigidly enforced within. They serve as gatekeeping mechanisms that maintain exclusivity while creating standards that preserve the social environment's value. Money can buy entry to the edges of elite society, but truly belonging requires understanding and following these unspoken codes. If this revealed a world you never knew existed, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on wealth, class, and social dynamics. Drop a comment. Which silent rule surprised you most? Thanks for watching, and remember, there's always a game being played at levels you can't see. I'll see you in the next one.